About the Indian context, I think the distribution of macros on an average will be like 65% or plus of carbs, 20 around 20 of fats, and 11 or 12 of protein, right? And we have the highest instances of diabetes and fatty liver. Liver, in fact, 1 in 3 adults have fatty liver. So, and the problem with this is if we go the low carb way, which which we suggest as a good way to deal with diabetes, the problem is that this takes away a lot of our common food, right? Somebody going from
Yeah.
65% carbs to less than say 15 or 20% carbs is not practical either. So
Yeah.
what are some solutions you can think of for the Indians?
So in that context, I would say that I would forget about the carbs. I would try to maybe lower carbs a bit and significantly increase protein. I don't know if that's practical for many people. My assumption is that protein tends to be more expensive than maybe some other common high carbohydrate foods. But that would be my number one recommendation would be, why don't you try and drop those carbs and increase your protein to 25 or 30% of your energy intake? That alone is going to not only support building lean muscle tissue, but it's also going to increase your metabolic rate through the thermic effect of protein. And it's going to help reduce your appetite so that you don't eat as much. And it might help you passively undereat and, lose body fat, which is required for resolving the fatty liver and the metabolic health problems. So definitely, doubling dietary protein, being more active, and specifically making an effort to engage in some form of structured resistance training, even if that means just using your own body weight. There's plenty of people out there with amazing physiques that are purely calisthenic, where they only use body weight exercises. You absolutely need to build up your lean body tissue, especially if you're eating a high carb diet, because that's the primary site of glucose disposal. And you're going to just create a lot more problems if you don't have that base of muscle tissue than if you did. Building up lean mass, eating more protein. And the other one they could experiment with, and I don't know how practical this is based on kind of how you set up meals, but trying to eat meals, like I was saying earlier, that are just protein and carbs or protein and fat. Now, this doesn't mean you can't mix them at all. It just means that when you have, for example, a high carbohydrate meal, try to keep the amount of fat you're eating to below 10 or 15 grams. Um, and again, I don't know if that's feasible, but what that can help do is reduce any potential biochemical nutrient fighting that's going on. And that might be able to help their body work more smoothly.
All right.